Welcome to Point to Rise, your podcast that gives you permission to dream big, take messy action, and turn your talent into profit while turning your back on perfection. My name is Susanne, high performance and mindset coach, former international ballerina, profitable entrepreneur, and founder of Point to Rise, a movement designed to empower dancers. It is my mission to use my own story as an inspiration for today's generation of dancers. And now sit back, stretch, warm up, or sip your coffee and love learning how much it matters to point at yourself first to rise to all that you are capable of. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Point to Rise podcast. My name is Susanne, and I am your host today. So on Tuesdays, if you're new here, I usually talk about what happened over the past week, something that came up to me, a topic that really I had some time thinking about and I learned about. So this week, I had the privilege to spend 2 days in a mastermind group. We had a virtual event. It was a closing out event, and it was filled, and I'm telling you, filled with authentically showing up women that were so incredibly inspiring. And I wanted to share with you, how it made me feel, what came up for me in particular, and also that something that I stumbled about this morning that I'm going to throw out a question, and I would love to make it into actually a discussion for us, something that we can maybe talk about later on. So these women that showed up there, one in particular that really sparked something in me that I didn't know I hadn't overcome yet. Her name is Kathy Heller. She is used to be a songwriter, composer. She has now one of the top 10 podcasts in North America, or on Apple, actually. She interviews A-League people, and she is the kindest, giving, most authentic person you can ever imagine. So this whole story that we have, that successful people that we deem as successful, people that we deem as they made it, actually are capable of being super, super, super great. And she in particular was just, my gosh, she really left a mark on in my heart. And there was one quote that really stuck with me, and that was, we have two choices at all times. It's either being authentic or belonging. And it made me think how long I actually belonged to something, to somebody, to an industry, to a dream, to somebody else's opinion, and how suffocating it was, and how much it had me in handcuffs. And I wanted to talk to you about how that actually, for me in particular, relates to performing arts, because that's my jam. That's what I love. That's where I'm from. That's where I belong. That's my purpose. But I'd also invite you to draw your own parallels, because it applies to everybody and to every walk in life. So the choice between authentic and belonging means that we can either show up as ourselves and really have the boundaries in place that, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is how I show up, or I am belonging to this kind of belief or industry, let's say the performing arts, and therefore I have to be a certain way.
But if that certain way doesn't align with who you truly are, who your soul is, you will feel so much friction. You feel emptiness and searching and restlessness that later on in life it will come back to you tenfold. You will potentially find yourself wanting to drown out, to numb out this. It's not unhappiness, but unfulfilled. Your higher self will always be reaching for your highest potential. And if you are diverting from it, it will let you know. And everybody's letting you know looks different. So I read a few comments this morning in a social media post where New York City Ballet's opening season actually made it onto the front page of the New York Times. Congratulations, guys. Like everybody deserves to be on that front page, right? Because performing arts are important, they are imperative. It is a great tribute for the past 18 months where every single dancer, every single performing artist for that matter, um, stayed at home and really had to go inward and search and understand what their next steps are going to be. It's for all those people that, showed up on Zoom classes every day and inspired others to stay in shape and to keep going, and that nobody out there can determine what your dream is going to look like. And it made me think. It's like, yes, performing arts belong on the front page. Absolutely. Every single day. But what are we waiting for? Are we waiting to belong to somebody, to a New York Times, to a Washington Post, to, I don't know, a Spiegel, to Forbes? What are we waiting for? Why are we not taking those opportunities ourselves? Why is it not possible for performing arts organizations to step into that media outlet and facet that it really offers at the exposure in a more, and I'm choosing aggressive here on purpose, aggressive in a go-getter kind of, how do you say, go-getter kind of attitude, taking action, not waiting to be written up on the front page. No, go create your own front page every single day. And I believe that when we're coming at it from that point of view, when we're really truly believing that we as performing artists, we as the performing art belong on the front page every single day. We know our worth, that we are enough to be on that front page. We are going to ask different questions. We're going to take different actions. We're going to show up differently. We're going to show up authentically. And we're not waiting to belong to somebody that perhaps is giving us money or gives us the permission to show ourselves. Go get it yourself. Show up authentically. Know your vision. Know your mission. What are your core values? How are you deciding what the future of your organization or as you as a single person really truly looks like? Do you know yet what your 2022 goals are? Have you written it out? Have you even thought about what 2022 is going to look like for you? Yes, no, there is no judgment. If you haven't done it yet, I highly recommend to do so. The earlier, the better, so you know what your next steps are. That is all being authentically you. Everything like making your own choices and decisions, showing up as you, knowing who you want to be, giving yourself the permission to change your mind every single day. That is showing up authentically. It is not belonging to somebody else. And I feel that performing arts have, I don't know, kind of taking that victim stand that we should be subsidized, we should get more help, Europe gets all this and we don't get anything. Where is that going to go? Where is that going to lead us? The choice of being authentically them, you, or belonging and being in the mercy of somebody else's decision. I feel like the pandemic has really, really strongly pushed the performing arts to that kind of crossroad to decide, hey, who do we want to be? What are we standing for? And I feel that now more than ever, it is so imperative to truly understand who you are and what you want. And yes, organizations need to decide themselves. And every single person should do the same thing, because then you can determine whether or not the organization you are with is a fit for you or not. If you can be authentically you or not. When you are authentically showing up as you, as that person, you are so much more capable of really tapping into your own potential. I want to share with you something at this point. We were in the mastermind, we were talking about, our domino tipping action that we need to take right now that would really push us forwards and into 2022. And I knew my domino tipping point. And I found myself, and I'm still at this point, finding myself fighting for my limitations, meaning not wanting, being afraid of showing up authentically, because I'm still searching who that person is, right? And when we don't know, even when we know, but we think that, people will judge us and I had the group pour into me, and one of the ladies said, or asked me the question, do you know how powerful you are? And I was like, why are you asking me that question? I didn't even want to lean into it. I didn't want to hear it. I found myself getting angry for a moment because I was in so much disbelief. My belonging self is so strong, and still at times is so strong, that my authentic self really had a hard time listening and taking that on. You can use other narratives here, like your ego and your higher self, whatever really works for you. But for me, and talking about Kathy and how she shows up and what an inspiration it was for me, it opened my eyes so wide that that is something for me that I am still struggling with. Believing people when they tell me something, understanding that I am powerful, even though I am still rejecting that. So I am leaving you with this, and I'm leaving you with some homework this time. And I'd love it if you could just share your takeaway. Your homework is, what do you want 2022 to look like? What is it that you want to achieve in 2022? What's your income like? What is it going to feel like? Where are you going to live? Are you going to move? Are you going to look for a different job? Are you going to start a side hustle? Are you going to inspire others? Are you going to, I don't know, learn to cook? I don't know what it is for you, but I'd love it if you were to figure that out for yourself. Chasing success is great, but if you don't know what that success looks like, if you don't know where you're going, your GPS does not know where to send you. I'm sending you so much love. Show up authentically. Don't belong. It's not worth it. It's too much energy. All of that energy, you can pour that into yourself. And when you are showing up in your highest power, you will make such a big difference in other people's life. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.